morning, and this morning I'd like to talk to you about another instrument from the Cittern family, and it's what, what's his face? Praetorius, sorry, describes in his Syntagma Musicum as a small English Cittern. Now, as I said in a previous blog or vlog, the Cittern was an early guitar-like instrument played in the 16th and 17th century. It had a pear-shaped body, a scroll-like back box, and it was related to, it developed from the medieval citol, and is related to to today's Portuguese mandolin. And this is interesting because Praetorius in the Syntagma Musicum shows an instrument very much like this. It is indeed a very small cittern. It's about the size of a mandolin, I suppose. I mean, it's certainly about the same size as the bell cittern, which is another cittern instrument played in Germany, which was only about 28 centimetres long. Is it 28 centimetres or 28 inches? Not very big anyway. 28 centimetres, I think. And the English cittern is about the same size. Now, it was also strung in courses, and I made it strung in courses. The only thing is, I've since put in there about 5. I've found 5 strings for ease of stringing. As you can see, I made this before I found out that there was a fin, and all of the citterns had a fin, little fin type protection on the back. Again, this developed, as I said, this developed from the finger hole of medieval citol. Now, I think it probably was. These instruments probably were produced as a kind of answer to some of the instruments like the mandolin that were appearing at the same time. There was a very small, back in antiquity, there was a very small lute type instrument called the panduro, which was pretty much like the Roman equivalent of a mandolin. They start appearing in Europe, or these instruments start reappearing in Europe in the Renaissance, and you find things called the mandoro, or the mandora, or the mandola. Instruments, they're a bit like the mandolin, perhaps a bit bigger, but very much heading in that direction. And I think this was probably one of them. Was probably produced by people who liked the cittern, but also wanted to have something of the size and tuning of some of these mandolin type instruments. As you can see, it also has a rose, and it also has these productions around, just around the beginning of the neck, if you can see that. Now, there's something of a puzzle in Praetorius's descriptions of the small English cittern, because he says this is an English instrument, and he said the back is only half glued on. And this presents something of a puzzle. I mean, it's a matter of debate whether the back was only half glued on because it was deliberate and this somehow had some effect on the sound, or, and I think this is actually far more likely, Praetorius had got hold of an old and actually damaged instrument, and the back had come unglued. It wasn't the case that the back was never glued, because it produced a more interesting sound, but it was unglued because it simply was old or damaged goods coming over the channel to Germany. Anyway, it's an interesting instrument. I'll give you an example. I haven't tuned it yet. I'll give you an example of what happens when you tune it. I've given it a rather high tuning, and there you go. That's the kind of sound it produces. Thank you so much for listening.